And it's Friday Night Live. And guess who isn't ready again? Yes, please?
Yep.
What are you having?
Yep.
What?
Beer.
Oh, yeah. Well then, yeah. Bill's on his way. We're just setting up for the live video. I'd like the video to be back further, but then we couldn't read the comments. You know, so we either need a separate person reading the comments, or has to say where it is. So, but I've got these on the front counter. So all you guys that are tuning in early, and especially with the guys who have been getting these bottle openers off us, we really, really appreciate it. It's one of the only regular incomes that we've got at the moment. But it's a really good product. So it's a genuine 50 BMG case. We ran out of ADIs, so now we're on to IVIs, which are, I believe, a Canadian brand of brass. Again, with the Hornady projectile in the top. And so we're selling these for $45, and that's including freight anywhere in Australia, and engraving as well, so you can get laser engraving done. So for everyone who bought one of these, we really appreciate it. Hey John, evening mate, thanks for tuning in. So Bill has racked off to go and get a haircut. He's on his way back though. I rang him just a second ago, so he'll be back here soon to talk about what he wants to talk about.
Hello, Mark.
Hey Shane. Make sure you hit us a like to let us know whether you can hear us or not. We'll put it in the comments if you can't hear us. Hey Jamie, put it in the comments if you can't hear us.
I'll get your bottle opener to you soon, Jamie. I'll let you know on.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Jamie.
Monday, probably Monday at this stage.
I've still got to send through Jamie our banking details.
Okay, we'll do that on Monday for you, mate.
But anyone who wanting to buy one of these, you can buy it via credit card over the phone, or you can direct deposit straight into our bank account.
Nathan.
And we'll get it posted out to you. Tonight we're drinking Peroni. Thanks very much to one of our really good clients who dropped in this afternoon to see how we are.
Matty Lloyd. Hey Simon, yours is actually in the post, mate. Well, actually it's sitting behind me in the, your two bottle openers are in a envelope ready to go to you, so.
That would be already in the post if he was better.
See what I got to put up with?
Nice beer.
It's taxing.
It is, it's hard.
Kate Casey. Hello, Kate. How are you, mate? I've got a feeling it's probably not Kate, but
no.
Hello anyway.
So the three things we're going to talk about tonight is Bill's going to discuss what he wants to talk about, which is something that's been stolen by the... He wanted to talk about something Australian, and obviously Bill's got a very big interest in war, vintage sort of stuff, so he hasn't got anything Australian to talk about tonight, but he has got something that the Australians stole and brought back from Second World War. So he's going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about freight. We're going to be talking about...
Other stuff?
No, what were the other things? I'll put it in one of the previous posts. You got your phone in it?
I do.
Bring up beating firearms. I'll put it in the previous post. The three things that we're going to talk about tonight.
I'll have a look.
First one was freight. The second one
was... The freight is an interesting one.
Yeah, the freight is interesting. Yeah. And for those people who don't know, freight has been a big issue for firearm dealers for a number of years now. The West Australian Firearms Traders Association have been very active in the last few years trying to get the issues associated with freight quashed, but obviously, and they've done an exceptional job to get it to where it is now. It's still not perfect, and certainly it's very bad for a lot of dealers, especially if you have a metro area. But freight has been an issue for the last couple of years, but I'll go into that in a minute.
How can we forget? So we're going to be talking about the new NIOA Hot Products catalogue, which has just arrived today.
This is a thick boy.
So lots and lots of good stuff in there. And
damn boy!
And
he's thick!
The 16 DTAC.
That's a thick ass boy! Where is the DTAC?
I don't know where the DTAC went. I'll go and find it. Oh, here it is over here. That's right. I found it. Stop looking. Oh.
So Hot Products, freight, and the DTAC. Which one do you want to start on?
Let's start with freight. People would be interested in freight. Oh, actually, what do you guys want to see first?
Here.
Do you guys want to see freight? You've got exactly 2 seconds.
Who wants to talk about freight? Who wants to talk about the DTAC. Who wants to talk about hot products?
Here we go. Here we go. First one up gets the win. First one up.
Dave Willie wants pen in because over. I'd really like to keep it going weekly, Nath. A lot of people are telling us they really like the evening grind. A lot of people are telling us they really like the videos.
Brian, that looks like a guy I used to know.
Somebody that I used to know. Want to see Bill stuff? All right, Bill.
Awesome. Shane wins. He comes up with the DTAC first.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about the DTAC first.
DTAC.
But Bill's here, so he's going to talk about his thing first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Shane.
Bill, you right? He's bringing out a toy.
Tindaro, you don't get a say. Sorry, mate.
Bill has had this
G'day,
for at least, I want to say at least, or more than 20 years, yeah? It's a very interesting thing. I remember it was offered to you at a Arms and Armour Society, or an Arms and Armour show.
Yeah, you know.
That you're at.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Well, last week we had something that was made in the 1940s, and this is something that's pretty much the same vintage. This is a Japanese flamethrower, the wand part of a Japanese flamethrower. I don't have the bottles, the tanks that went with it. It's like a little switch. It's like a Swiss watch.
You have to lift everything.
You might have to lift it up a bit, Bill, so that
No one can see what's going on. Yeah.
It's built like a Swiss watch. It's all
Just point at it.
stainless steel.
This
and-
end of the front. Yep.
Stainless steel and a brass-like material, but it probably isn't brass. But it's all non-ferrous, so it won't rust in the jungle, I suppose. But the completion of this was a hose that went from the tap here onto a bottle of petrol, is what was all this was powered by, and a little bottle of nitrogen that pressurised the petrol tank that forced the petrol through the machine.
That was the propellant.
That was the propellant, and
It's got a leather
handle here.
handle for it, yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the stitching's gone, but otherwise.
But
So how did it work?
the drill was when you wanted to light her up, in the front here is like a revolver chamber, and there was these little cartridges which are like a little incendiary.
They're like a short 410 card.
Yeah, like a short 410, but they had an incendiary material in the end of them, and a primer in the back, just like an ordinary centerfire cartridge. When you switched it on, it's got a safety catch
Yeah,
too,
the safety catch. It's on the other side, so it'll probably move up and down, yeah.
which I'll probably put on accidentally.
Just in case, safety first, yeah?
Which way?
No, that's off, I'm pretty sure.
You sure?
No, but
Yeah, there. When you wanted to light her up, you push this handle around, which opened the valve for the petrol to come through, and in the last part of the stroke, it fired one of the little cartridges and shot, the fuel was coming out of the nozzle here, and the little cartridge fired some sparks or whatever into the fuel stream and lit it up. And of course, with the nitrogen pressurising it, it had a range of about 30 metres. It was claimed that it could get out to about 40 metres, but 30 metres seemed to be the maximum. And of course, you could just switch it off, no problem.
that's unreal.
Well, the only problem that I could see was people shooting at you.
Yes, that would be a problem.
I reckon that would be a big problem.
If you're 30 yards away from Aussies, chances are they're probably going to have a crack at you.
I reckon.
They would have well and truly had a crack at it.
You would have been my first target.
They reckon the guys operating these were on a short lifespan, very short.
So what's the thing up the top here?
Well,
There's a little plaque on it.
there's a little plaque on here which was the maker and the year that it was made, and we've had it translated for us, and I can't remember the translation now, I never wrote it down, but it tells us the factory where it was built and the year when it was built, and it's got a serial number on it.
Because it's not like the Japanese to be able to keep records.
The Japanese probably have.
It's all in kanji, I can't read it.
But
I don't know what it says. When you had someone decipher this though, I'm pretty sure that the date that was on there was either, I thought it was 42.
yeah, that's right.
So 1942,
Yeah.
so right in the middle of the war.
Yeah, but
Oh, that never came apart before, because one of these was stuck in it.
yeah, that's right. I fixed it all up.
Oh, okay.
But as you can see, it's beautifully built. It's not a piece of rubbish. This was a top quality piece of mechanism. You can see the cylinder where all the cartridges were in. It's got a firing mechanism and an indexing system in the body of the nozzle area, and it's a really smart piece of gear.
Where'd you get it from?
I was at a military fair in Albany 30 years ago now.
Was it 30 years ago?
Yeah, I reckon 30 years ago.
Nah, it was less than that because I was there. 30 years ago, I was only 5.
Probably early 1990s anyway.
Yeah.
Would have been. And
I was probably 8 or 10 or something like
and
that.
some guy
I remember being there. I
Yeah,
understand.
some guy wandered through, and I had something else on my table that was Japanese, and he just mentioned that he had a flamethrower, and I said, "Yeah,
it is reverse video. Sorry, guys, they are right-hand threads on here. They're not left-hand threads.
Oh yeah, it's right-hand thread. Yeah, he said, "I got a flamethrower," and I said, "Yeah, of course you have." And he said, "Oh, I'll show you," and he buzzed off, and he come back about 3/4 an hour later and presented this. And I
There was a building getting pulled down or something, or did you say that?
No, it was underneath a house where he built it. He bought a house and he found this underneath in the foundation somewhere. And as you can see, it must have been lying there on the ground under this bloke's house for who knows how long. You know, it could have been from
50 years.
Yeah, it could have been from the late 1940s, early 50s, right through to 95, say, when I got it.
Well, you think it would have been brought back?
Yeah, it would have been pilfered by some unscrupulous Aussie, no doubt.
The guy's name didn't end in, like Miyagi or anything like that, did it?
No, I don't think Karate Kid's mentor brought it back.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, a very interesting piece. I've just put it away, and I don't know what I'll do with it one day, but
I'd like to get it going.
Take it out of the farm.
Just between us.
do a few fire breaks with it.
Yeah, do some burn off.
But
Alright, cool.
Very neat little piece.
Thanks very much for showing us that, Bill.
No trouble at all.
Bill used to have it out the front in the counter back when we had glass counters out the front here. And he had a lot of collection and stuff out there, but it's not something that he really wants to sell. And so we did move it out the back with the rest of his collection. And we're going to go through more of his collection in the weeks to come. So let's jump back into the DTAC. Okay, so as you'll know, there are some restrictions at the moment on very powerful firearms.
Well, we said we weren't going to use that phrase anymore, so...
No, I don't use VPR. Yeah, I don't use the acronym.
F.
Is it F?
Well, it's a very powerful firearm, not a very powerful rifle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So VPF. We don't very powerful firearm. So there's bans on it at the moment, and certainly 50 BMG, which is what this is basically you can't get a license for one at the moment. Shane will probably disagree though. So you can get a firearm license for a 50 BMG on the range up at Elavella, but it comes with a heaps of conditions. And if you want to meet those conditions, then you'll get it.
It's pretty much the back of your license. It's a full page.
It's a full page. And the conditions are A, unnecessary, B, onerous, and C, they don't really achieve anything. Yeah, there's certainly nothing about public safety there. They're just for the sake of being, it's just spite more than anything else. but the 50 BMG's out. And so we decided that we were going to create our own cartridge off the 50 BMG case. So the Firearms Act, and we'll come back to that, Teddy, and I'm not going to say what DTAC stands for on a live video.
For all of you that are
we'll
watching,
just say it stands
for
for
Desert Tactical.
No, well, that's we can't use that. It's a copyrighted term. Desert Tech. Oh no, it's Tech.
Yeah, I said tactical. Desert Tactical.
Oh, the one was Desert Tac.
Desert Tac.
Okay.
Desert Tac.
Desert. Yeah, that's it. So yeah. Anyway, so we wanted to make an overbore caliber, or large bore caliber. The 50 BMG is a really good parent case. So how big could we go? And I decided on 16mm. So that's the 50 BMG case, yeah, but it is blown out, so it's improved. And that's a 16mm projectile. So from my calculations, that projectile, if we were to turn them up out of solid copper, they'd be around about 95, 98mm long, and they would weigh around about 1600 grains. They would have a BC, I think I worked it out.
Have we got any bottle openers there?
Right next to your hand.
Oh no, a bit short on for bottle openers, Bill. We spent all day making them. The BC on this G7 BC would be about 0.73 from my calculations. And it'd be supersonic at about 2.9 kilometres or something like that. So it's insane. I mean, it's not going that fast, but because of the high BC, it's going to retain its velocity really, really well. And so it'll have about 31,000 joules of energy at the muzzle.
Yeah,
and it'll have
for rabbits and foxes.
It'll have more energy at 2,000 metres than a .308 has at the muzzle or something like that. It's something silly. Not that that's got anything to do with the ability of this cartridge to hit and kill anything. So, yeah. So there you go. The DTAC, 16mm DTAC. Perfect ELR cartridge, absolutely, Shay. So if I could find someone that'll make me a 16mm barrel, or if we can make a 16mm barrel, then I'll build one of these and we'll turn some produce up and we'll have a bit of a laugh.
We'll go up to Shane's
So that's
place
what the DTAC is. Yeah, we'll go up to Shane's place and shoot over 3.5. Oh no, we're not allowed to do that.
No.
Oh no.
No, we are, because if we step...
No, not shoot on the range.
Yeah, if we step 2 metres to the left or the right of the range.
Yeah, we'll just sit lay in the dirt just off the mound.
And then
we can shoot as far as we want.
Yeah, well, that's true, because it doesn't have to be templated.
Because that's safe.
Public safety. Well done, Waper.
Right.
All right, next one.
So,
Freight.
Okay.
Freight.
You want to talk about this one? You can talk about this one.
All right, so
you can start talking about this one and I'll jump in later.
And you'll jump in when you need to, buddy. All right, this morning-ish, our freight arrived, and we were told by our lovely driver, that due to an internal policy change, review, whatever they want to call it, ammunition and firearms can't be sent in the same consignment anymore. Well, that was already sort of mostly the case with our freight companies anyway. Where it's got...
And all our wholesalers have never done that.
That's right.
The wholesalers have said, they've asked them to, and the wholesalers said, fine, we sell firearms, send firearms and ammunition separately. It's not hard.
Yeah. So, it's not really...
the same truck.
Most of the time, no.
No.
Most of the time, they never arrive
not
in
on the same truck. They have to
So
go in completely different consignments on different trucks.
They definitely can't come in the same truck. Well, that's taken a little bit of a different turn, as she explained to me that now at the depots, they're actually allowed to open the packages and inspect them to see if they have firearms in them, which opens up a whole new can of worms, in my opinion, where there's essentially a freight dock somewhere that are allowed to open packages that aren't addressed to them and potentially put themselves in possession of an unlicensed firearm for them. And also the rest of the people that work there are then available or able to see these firearms that are otherwise, you know, in inconspicuous boxes that aren't marked, aren't any way in shape or form even allude to the fact that they've got a firearm in them. They can now open them and actually prove that there is one in there.
So, and this was a big issue that I raised with the Law Reform Commission review, in that you're essentially, by bringing in the changes, and let's not beat around the bush here, this is as a direct result of policy changes in police licensing. Yeah. So the police licensing policy changes that they made to the approved freight carriers now means that all the firearms and ammunition are handled by a very, very small number of freight companies who have to identify the packages containing ammunition and firearms and potentially it effectively identifies the packages. But previously, and in every other state, the firearms themselves are anonymous within the freight system. They're not identified, they're in plain packaging, and that's the safest way to do it.
You have to know what you're looking for to even tell what they are.
You have to open the package up.
You know,
Yeah.
we see them every day because of what happens here. So we've got a rough idea of what's in there. But if you were just an ordinary docky working at the freight, you know, you drive a forklift, whatever, how could you possibly tell what was in these boxes if you...
Well, you could open them up.
That's the only way.
But then you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk of being found to be going through freight and packages to do that sort of stuff, and you'd get weeded out. This is basically validating the ability for someone who had criminal intent to find, at no risk to themselves, to find packages containing firearms. And this jeopardises public safety hugely. And I place this directly at the feet of police licensing.
Not that we're saying that the guys that work at the freight companies are, or even potentially criminals, but this just opens that avenue up. You know, obviously the guys that work there, the guys and girls that work there have done they're doing a marvellous job for what they do. But now that this is
this isn't identifying anyone in particular or everyone at freight companies.
Yeah, that's right.
What I'm saying though is that if you're a criminal, and you're, if you have criminal intent and you can see the value in trying to acquire an unlicensed firearm, you can now go and work for one of these companies, and get into one of these companies, get into work, get into that role, which wouldn't be hard, for the purpose of theft, of stealing firearms themselves. And we know that organised crime did this over east, because they did this. They bought themselves a post office and put their own staff in there, and Glocks were getting made in Austria, sent to Germany, and then freighted to Australia. Within 2 weeks were going missing, because this is a post office where they knew the parcels, they were coming in, addressed to them, and they would just disappear. And so these firearms, handguns were ending up in the community. And so we know that the capability is there for them to do this. And this is just another
opportunity.
It's another opportunity, and you're right. And going back to what I was saying, the extra difficulties and the onus and onerous freight policy from police licensing is really what has exacerbated this, is what brought this along, because the freight companies have had to invest so much into their own a risk which didn't exist. So they're so risk adverse now that these sorts of policies are coming into play internally, and this is a big risk. And so it's not a good thing at all. But something else I wanted to identify was that, and we spoke about this last week or the week before when we were talking about the SAT hearing in regards to Shane Alavella and the stuff that the police were throwing at him, and the stuff that's coming up more in the VP, very powerful firearm policy and that sort of stuff, which is that the police licensing are quoting the National Firearms Agreement, saying that they've got an obligation under the National Firearms Agreement to put in these things and all that sort of stuff. And so they'll heed the National Firearms, which they're not bound by the National Firearms Agreement. Yeah, the National Firearms Agreement is a non-binding policy. Yeah, the West Australian Police are only bound by West Australian legislation. So there's no reason for them, and the NFA was incorporated into the West Australian legislation. There's no reason for them to be quoting West Australian legislation, but they've chosen to. They've chosen to quote or to misquote legislation where it suits them. And when it comes to freight, the National Firearms Agreement is very plain. It says that anonymity within the freight system is the best defence. and that parcels containing firearms should not have any indication to say or label that they're firearms. And what this is the exact opposite to that. Everything that West Australian Police have brought in regards to freight policy is the opposite of what the National Firearms Agreement is. So they're really picking and choosing what sections of the NFA that they want to actually adhere to. Yeah. So it's just absolutely willfully negligent and
boggles the mind.
yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Stupid. Yeah.
So so that's me getting worked up about freight. So that's the latest in freight, yeah. But it's an ongoing issue. If you don't know, freight, there's the West Australian Firearms Act says that only approved couriers can move firearms. That's has always meant, up until very recently, has always meant that you must have an approved courier, as in an approved courier under the Transport Act. It can't just be, Zaine and Trent's courier company, we haven't got an ABN and we don't pay tax or anything like that. It has to be a proper courier company. The West Australian Police have decided that, approved means approved by us, as if they've got any sort of credentials to be approving freight companies. And now they've taken it upon themselves to say, you have to be approved by us. And then they put all these sorts of silly restrictions on it, to the point now that there's only a couple of freight companies moving firearms and ammunition in West Australia. I'm not going to say they are because it's a safety risk. It's bad enough that it's only a couple of companies now that are able to move them. And the requirements on them to be able to move firearms is very onerous on them. So, which is why there's only a couple of freight companies moving it now. And so now, if you're outside the metro area, and what they call the metro area is 50 k's out of the Perth city, you can't get freight to you basically. Now, there's a couple of companies that will deliver north and south, but I think they only go as far as Geraldton, and then do they even go down to Mandurah? Because I know Shooter Shop can't get a lot of freight.
Nah,
down
I don't
there.
know anybody that goes south.
Yeah. I know Steele used to drive up here every week to get his freight.
So,
and he's only at Narrogin. That's not that far out, really.
Oh, it's further enough for them to not have their own teeth and stuff.
Well, you wouldn't walk there.
No, I wouldn't go there.
You wouldn't walk to you wouldn't walk to the bakery over the road, you fat shit.
Yeah, you would.
I would. It's a long way to the shop when you want a sausage roll.
Especially if there was a hot dog or a burger over there.
Yeah, well,
You walk over the road for food.
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
But if it was...
You've got to keep this. This is a finely tuned machine that needs to be fed only high quality fuel. So,
Finely tuned machine.
High quality fuel.
yeah,
Like a VW running on 3 cylinders.
High quality fuel. What's his idea of high quality? Curry pie and fucking Bundaberg rum.
Yeah.
It's not a high quality.
well, that raises the octane, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
What it means is you got to feed stuff into that to stop it from pinging.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I'm here. You guys
No,
are
I don't know
bastards.
why you're here anyway.
Anyway,
So DTAC we've spoken about.
look at all the
Freight-
laughing faces.
Freight we're talking about.
None of you fellas are going to win hats. I
Yeah,
give them
mate,
away.
What have we got? What kind of thing have we got tonight for?
Well,
we're going to talk about NIOA
We're going
products.
to talk about
Okay.
Knob.
So we'll stop talking crap. We'll talk about NIOA catalogue.
Well, that's impossible for you because that's all you speak is crap.
So the NIOA Hot Products catalogue comes out every year. It's chock full of all the stuff that NIOA sell.
It's my favourite part of the year, except for
It's a really good catalogue.
the rest of it.
And there's Rob Nair in on the front cover. There's Rob Nair.
Is Cubus in this one?
I don't know. We're going to have a look.
Woo!
Hey, Cubus, I don't think he is because he messaged me today and says, oh, that's a sexy front cover. If he was in here, he would have been saying, oh, turn to 80, page 82. There's a sexy picture of me in there because he's that sort of...
He is that sort of guy. I hope Cubus is watching, actually, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I hope he is. Hi, Cubus.
Hello, Cubus.
So, yeah, how many pages has he got now? 466 pages.
No, it's more than that because that's the...
Oh, 480. 480 pages. I think that's how big was the last one?
Goodness. Not that much.
Less than 480.
Less than 480. And I'd double check that, but I don't have one left, so...
So normally they put all the new products at the front, but they haven't done this year, and that's annoying. Because you could just flick to the front page and they'll have all the new products. So I've got Ruger Precision Rifle, which you're not allowed to
I
have.
can't have. You don't have the rimfire though. So if you want the rimfire, let me know.
Let's flick through and see if there's anything new. You can have the rimfire.
We can talk about it for now.
Yeah, we can talk about the rimfire, but
I'd love to sell you one, but
but if you want to buy one,
apparently.
ring Mark McGowan.
he might have a monopoly on them. You never know. He might have the whole lot.
That's
in
his
basement
family might own a gun
Rockingham.
shop or something, and they're just like they're building up to.
He's in Rockingham though. He's probably got a
He's a
basement full of
Rockingham,
meth
that's right. Don't be like that.
and
Don't
teenage
piss
pregnancy.
off anyone from Rockingham. We'll be asking for him to vote against him in the next election.
well, it's not like they're going to come up.
No, we want him to vote against bloody McGowan at the next election.
Yeah, we want McGowan out at the next election. I don't care what happens. Can we get one? Get one what?
Yes. Fuck it.
Yeah. Revenge of the...
Revenge of the
Revenge
Super. Lol.
Right, Ruger Precision Rimfire. When I come across something new, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. So don't stress.
It's lucky.
There'll be
It's
something.
lucky Teddy's funny.
He's not though.
Well, he's got not much else going for him.
He's got no hair.
Short, bald, can't shoot.
He's got a good looking wife.
He does have a good looking wife.
Who's that?
Teddy.
Teddy.
Oh, Teddy.
Yeah.
Punching well above his weight.
Well above.
Punching well above his weight.
Well
God almighty, I'll say.
Savage Model 110.
Out of his class by a mile.
Mind you.
We've got to be a little bit careful because his missus is probably standing next to him.
I thought that was his daughter.
Well, she's,
Yeah.
if he holds the phone where he normally does, she would be able to see because she's taller than him.
I think when she's on heels, I think.
Sorry, Teddy. You are actually like really good.
Savage Mark II. Still one of the biggest sellers that we've got.
They're a fantastic little rifle, guys. People write them off, but you really shouldn't. You know, if you're looking for a quality, cheap, entry-level 22, Mark II, brilliant.
So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of new products in here. And I think that's the US market. Like, they're not producing anything new. There's
Well, that's what Jason said a month or so ago.
Kylie's watching. Bye, Kylie.
Kylie's watching.
So this is the new Kimber. I don't know how new they are, but I haven't seen one in person, so they must be set relatively new. It's the new Kimber
got a revolver.
Yeah, Kimber revolver. I'd like to see it internally, yeah? Because if it's
Probably,
like a Colt Python, it'll be a piece of shit. But if it's like a Smith & Wesson, then it'll be great.
But it might be a Dan Wesson.
Lindsay
Might
Hamilton.
be a Dan Wesson, you reckon? Yeah. Have a separate barrel inside the sleeve that comes loose and all sorts of
Lindsay
shit.
Hamilton, thoughts on the CZ515? The picture looks
What's
real.
a CZ515?
It's the new repeater rimfire from
Fuck me, they only just came out with a 5.
A lever release one.
Lever Release one, like the Vernie
Are you
Karen.
serious?
Yeah, like the Vernie Karen.
Like the Savage.
No, like the Vernie Karen. The Savage has got it up by the trigger guard.
It's a lever release.
Yeah,
rim
but the
bar.
Vernie is the lever down by the back. That's where this one is. So it's a thumb actuated lever.
It'd be much easier to use.
Much easier to use. It looks cool. It's got a bloody
Why have we
tactical
not?
version of it because they're not in Australia yet. It's
When are
from
they coming?
When Winchester
Oh,
tried to order
CZ
some, I
bit.
suppose.
I don't know. They're on their
So
way.
no one's seen one yet.
I've seen one in the picture. It looks really
Yeah, I've
nice.
seen a picture of one.
Okay. So I haven't seen the picture, so you know infinitely more about this than me.
Well, if you did some more
But you
work,
still- that's
you would have
still-
seen it.
yeah.
But
It's still
apparently
looks like the old, bit like the old Bruno
Well, they got-
semi-auto.
they got two.
Oh yeah, well you've got one of them, don't you?
I'll just
Why
talk
don't
to
you
the
go and
camera
grab
while
your
you guys
CZ,
talk.
your CZ semi-auto
So-
and we'll pretend there's a lever on the side. So
What
we've
I'll
got
do
one
is
here.
I'll talk to you guys while they're talking to themselves, right? So it looks like they've got a tactical version, which has got that chassis, big fore-end, the whole works going for it, pistol grip. And then they've got the American, which is the wood version. So I think they're going to be probably a pretty good seller. Price-wise, I think they're going to be roughly around the sort of $1,500 mark off the top of my head. I'll have to double check for you though, Lindsay. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting to be asked about the CZ515 at this point in time.
I'm glad you were here because I knew nothing.
Oh no! Why am I here? Because I know more.
So why
than
are we
you.
talking about CZs? They're not even handled by Nike.
No, but it was one of the questions, and you wanted me to answer questions. So I
You've been going on for fucking ages though.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
So on the next page over, we have the Rapide.
The Rapide. The Rapide.
Rapide.
The Rapide.
Repeat.
The Rapide.
What is that?
It's
Is that like Italian for
It's a 1911 that saved the French. And they
the
decided,
Rapide?
which
You know
means-
what it looks like?
which means-
It looks like someone tried to write Rapid and bloody spell check on their phone fucked it up.
yeah. Oh, Greg, you'll know. Rapide. Say it in French.
Does it come in 308?
No, it doesn't. Greg.
Oh, the CZ. I thought you meant the pistol.
Who knows?
No, it's only 22.
Yeah, 22. They do it with 22 mag or?
No, I don't know. Just 22, maybe 22 Magnum. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it that
Yeah,
much.
you know what the price is?
About $1,500.
Okay.
I might have made that up. I don't know. We'll have to check
You'll
on
be
Monday.
spewing if they're like $2.5 grand.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
Right.
Ryan's quality.
More 911s. Nothing's new
Nathan
there.
Griswold, does that say? Does that say trans quality food?
Greg.
Repeat. Yes, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Say repeat in, and he just types repeat.
just wrote
It's like,
repeat.
well, what else were we expecting from him? Appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for that.
You're a legend.
When you come in, we'll get you to do a
Absolute
video of how to pronounce it. It's the Kimber Rapid.
Rapid,
Yeah,
mate. It's
the
the
five
rapid.
stars.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting a message. It's probably from my wife telling me to come home.
Gorlami. Sono I Golami.
I speak the second best Italian.
You speak the third best.
You don't speak
Just shut the fuck up.
That's it.
Caesar, no, Anschutz Model 782 Classic in German. They're not new, but they're cool.
Teddy's watching us on his 65-inch TV. That's got to be the ugliest room going on.
That's hideous looking, isn't it?
Oh, why would you do
As
that?
long as it's on surround sound.
Why would you do that to the rest of the family, Ted?
So CZ are doing a
wrong,
1771 GTAC.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a 1771D GTAC. I reckon that's a rip off of our
DTAC.
cartridge. Yeah. DTAC.
The
Anschutz, what Anschutz does.
Look,
which
Chris,
is
I've been waiting for this all week. I've got to live this, man, every day.
under the thumb.
Every day. This is my job.
Colt.
Like, it wears thin. It
Like,
really
there's
does.
people out there that like Colt, and I've got no idea why. I think it's the name, yeah. I think it's Colt. You know, it's like a cult following.
A cult.
Colt.
A cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GSG. We'll just skip that altogether. Oh, they're a good entry level 22, but there's nothing new there. Barrett Model 99 and 95s.
Teddy reckons it's just validating that he's better looking than both of us.
So the Barretts, they're in the catalogue. So the 99 and the 95, the 99 sort of like a half bullpup and the single shot, and the 95 is the repeater.
Which one did the police let us have now?
Both of them, I think, yeah.
Oh, but not,
In theory.
but not the calipers.
Yeah.
Another, you can have it, but not really.
MRAD, I don't think that, was that one approved?
No, it's got a folding stock, doesn't it?
Oh, well then, no, you can't have it. Glock, Deanna. So Deanna went to NTEC and they did all the NTEC stuff and it was really, really good and we liked it, and then they killed it, yeah, so it's done. And how it was explained to me is that people that are wanting a spring gun are getting spring guns. People who don't want a spring gun aren't going to an NTEC, they're just going straight to a pre-compressed, which is, and the battery's dying on my phone, which is where everyone's going nowadays, yeah? So they're either going brake barrel, yeah, but they're phasing it out.
Oh, righto.
They're either going brake barrel, pre-compressed. But they are doing their Storm Rider and their Outlaws still, which are like, or no, I don't know, quite a price. Cause
They're actually both their little PCPs. Storm Rider's their little version. It's non-regulated, magazine fed if you want it. It's got a single shot adapter. Comes in 177 and 22.
What are they?
that's the straight Pawadler.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in here now. So you got the all-weather, the standard model, and the tactical model.
Tyrone. Good, mate. How are you? You doing all right?
Hey, mate.
Getting ready for the weekend? Pre-drinks?
Seen you last week.
No. On it?
So they got the lever actions in here still. Lever action 410s, 686s from ATA. So that's nothing new there. Churchill. There's not a lot new in here. That's probably why they didn't do a news section, yeah? Because it would be like one page long. Oh, sunglasses.
Sonny's from Loopold.
They're
awesome.
bringing these out now.
Yeah, I want to get a set, but They're hideously expensive.
Depends what you mean, hideous. Well, I mean, with the Australian dollar at the moment, everything's seriously expensive from the Yanks. Yeah. But yeah, that's the loophole. So I'll have to get it. I'll have to get a set for me.
I'm pretty certain they're impact rated as well.
They're certainly not flogging it if they are. Oh no, they're all polarised and different colours and non-polarised. And you can get a UV protected, UVA and UVB.
David, yes, that straight pull does look mint.
VX6, VX5.
Are you coming in for your hat anytime soon?
Probably not. It's probably out bush.
Oh, it might be.
VX3. Competition series.
Which never seems to be available.
Mark 5. Well, no one buys the FX. Who buys fixed-powered scopes anymore? Fucking people his age. That's who buys them.
Oh, Scoop will probably buy one.
I won't. Yeah, Scoop will buy one.
Scoop will buy one.
Oh, new fixed power. Don't trust those variable powers. They always don't move.
Make sure it's in furlongs and...
Yeah.
I don't want it any of that MOA, that new shit.
4 by inch and a quarter. None of that 32 mil shit.
I wonder what sets them apart.
Bonus.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
Huh?
I
can't read it. Yeah.
Tonic and... I haven't had a chance to get in this week.
Oh, everyone's jumping in.
No, we're not open on Saturdays at the moment, guys.
No, not until we get some other things sorted here. So we have applied for and we've been granted the JobKeeper. And that means that we're going to be able to pay and retain all of our staff. So we never sacked anyone from here, but we have been running on less staff. And then once we've got more staff back here, then we'll be able to run weekends and everything again. And you'll probably see more marketing from us and that sort of stuff. Spotting scopes, rangefinders.
Scoop reckons, fuck off, 6 power, you only need a 4 power. That's right, especially when you're at 6.5 by 55, you only shoot close range anyway. So
I don't think he owns a scope that goes down to 4 power.
I don't think he does either. Oh yeah, he does on his little Marlin 1894. That's got a 2
Has that got a scope on it?
It's got 2 to 7, I think. Yeah.
A rifle that no one will put a scope on, he puts a fucking scope on.
That's
it's a 44 Magnum. Like, who puts a scope on a 44 Magnum? What's he, blind or something?
I don't have a scope on it now though, guys.
Loopholed binocular rangefinders. They did these quite a few years ago. Mate of mine's got a set. I actually got them here still somewhere. He hasn't grabbed them back off me. TBX 3000.
Wayne, no, I do not mind if you have a drink while you're watching.
Yeah, go
that
for
would
it.
be fantastic.
Yeah. So 10 times magnification. So this is a bit more magnification than most of the other rangefinders on the market. BarbX 3000. You think it'll do yeah, it does. It does 3,000 yards.
So old, my foot's
that's on reflective. That's on reflective targets, but still 3,000 yards. That's a long way.
Not bad.
True ballistic range, temperature and pressure readouts. Right, so it's a Kestrel and a rangefinder in one. So instead of buying a rangefinder and a Kestrel, you just get this.
Oh, it's got TBR too.
Crystal fire cups, lightweight aluminium bleak. Absolutely mint.
I admit that.
Scoops, there you go. You need to get one of them. Right.
I did scoop.
Then Scoops doesn't need to get a Kestrel then. He could just use the pressure and thing and then just lick his finger and stick it in there for the wind. 2800, I got them.
I'm pretty. Last time we went shooting with Scoop, I actually just stood behind him and hit a gong with a hammer anyway when he shot, just to let him know that he hit the target.
Yeah.
So
he's been out shooting quite a few times with us, hasn't he?
Ding!
We've never been out shooting with him though. He's never invited us out shooting.
It's like we're not really friends. He only uses us for a range.
AR, Elite, Nitro, Forge, Engage, Trophy.
You should feel bad about taking the piss out of Scoop.
We love Scoop.
Why would I feel bad?
Yeah.
You know, if he was standing here, it'd be
he would be lighting us up at the moment too.
Yeah. Bino spotting. This is getting boring.
Really?
Night vision. Night vision.
Only?
Night vision.
I've been bored since
these guys are Bushnell night vision. That's right. Are these only night vision or thermal?
Night vision.
They're only night vision. Oh, that's boring. Keep going.
Boring.
If you're getting a binocular, get a thermal binocular. Don't mess around with a night vision binocular. Get a night vision scope and a thermal binocular. Rifle scopes from Casco.
Nathan, there's actually no prices. Oh, hang on. What did you write? Is there any info for PRC Cal rifles in that book? Yes.
I can't read that.
you can't read in general.
Greg, your 6.5 Creedmoor BLR isn't stuck with Bill, it's stuck with me. I'm still building that rear stock thing for you. And I've got a long way through it, and then I hit a bit of a snag, and that's why the delay's been there. But it's with me, not Bill. So I apologise for that. But he's been nagging me to get back onto it, so I should be getting back on it soon. Kestrel only lets you know what the wind is doing where you are. You need to learn how to read the wind downrange. Yeah, that's right, you do. Reading the wind is like sharpening a knife, yeah? You can use all of the jigs and tools and everything you want, and you will get a good edge and stuff on it, but there's nothing like learning to read the wind yourself. You'll be able to do it quicker, easier, and yeah.
You can still fuck it up.
Cheers, Greg. Trail cameras, Simmons, well, you'll still fuck it up, that's for sure.
Well, that's my job. That's how you learn.
Traditional.
Make mistakes.
Well, it's just as well you don't have one of those nasty VPRs that can shoot over more than 1,000 metres.
Oh no! Imagine making a mistake like that. That'd be
Training kits.
scary, wouldn't it?
So Hoppies don't really have much in that out that's new, but if you didn't know, Hoppies had 70% of the market. They bought out Gunslick. They're owned by Vista Outdoors now. Big company.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Vista owned. So Vista, what else do Vista own?
Everything like
Savage.
It used to be on the back.
CCI.
Savage. No, they sold Savage back to the company. Like back
Oh,
to the
they
people
did,
that owned
yeah,
it.
just
They bought
recently.
Savage and then sold it back.
Yeah, they bought it and then sold
Spear.
it and lost a heap of money on it. Spear,
Federal.
Federal, CCI,
Spear,
Spear,
RCBS.
RCBS, Lyman,
Yeah.
Champion,
Yeah.
own heaps of stuff, yeah?
Everything.
Hoppies.
It's easier to tell you
Bushnell,
what they.
Tasco, Simmons.
Yep.
Bushnell, Tasco, Simmons.
It's easier
Weaver.
to tell you what they don't own.
No, we're not having cans, mate. We're having stubbies.
Oh,
By
Have a
virtue
good
of
weekend.
Teddy bringing in the Wog beer.
I must say, you pick a good time to do the live feed. I watch you guys all the time, and on Fridays.
Yeah,
Perfect.
appreciate it, Wayne. There was actually a bit of a toss-up there whether we were going to do it on Fridays or not. And I didn't know because I thought, a lot of people will be out on the piss, they'll be spending some time with their family, that sort of stuff. And I said to Trent, hey Trent, could we maybe do it on another night? And you know what Trent said? Oh, maybe. Well, I can't do it Wednesdays, and I can't do it Mondays.
Or Thursdays.
And I can't do it Thursdays, can't
or
do it Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. So, yeah, we can do it
So
any
he's
day
not
they want.
willing to sacrifice anything for you guys. He's an arsehole. Just fucking arsehole.
It's not really fair. That's a big assumption.
It's not fair.
Well-
it's not fair for you to be treating our customers like this.
The problem is that my wife loves me, and yours
My wife
doesn't.
love me. No, my wife doesn't love you, that's for sure.
Spewing, I was going to call tomorrow and see. I don't know.
No, Matt,
squealer.
Matt, it's nearly done, I think.
There you go. Hog squealer. They mimic that sound from Trent getting flogged by his missus.
If we take that, that'd be great down at the nightclub in Rockingham. That'd pick up. You'd be laughing.
Chop suey pig squealer.
Next thing you know, you'd just be surrounded by Sheilas, and it'd be fantastic. In actual fact, teenage pregnancies in Rockingham would increase with that collar and one of our hats.
I've been listening to it. Hey, they got books out here how to use. So there's DVD packs from Primos, yeah, on how to use the different calls. And it's actually, I don't know how many people that I've been shooting with who've got a call, like a fox call, like the squeak, like little rabbit button calls, and they can't, you're like, oh, this thing's shit, and they throw it away. They can't use it. And the problem isn't the call, is that you really need to emulate what a wounded rabbit sounds like. And just sitting there going, doesn't sound like a rabbit. Like if you've ever heard a rabbit that's been shot.
Doesn't it sound like, shut the fuck up, Frank! Shut the fuck up!
And we've spoken about that before. And Teddy's on here, so he'll know as well. If you go shooting, don't go fox shooting with wogs. They don't shut up. Like you're trying to blow the whistle, call this fox in. It's 50 metres out, and all it can hear is the fox coming in. It's going left. It's going right.
Have a good
Did you
night,
see it
Paul.
move? Yes, I can know where the bloody fox has moved. Shut up.
Yes, Greg, the bow's for sale. If you want it, come in and buy it.
Yeah.
It's
Just buy there, $120. Comes with a free arm guard.
does not come with free green stockings or pointy shoes.
Unfortunately, I've been busy because I wanted to get out in the car park and shoot someone's car or something with it
Apparently,
on camera.
Apparently, I'm not welcome in Rockingham anymore. Oh, fucking boo-hoo.
Oh,
Oh, I don't care.
holsters, Uncle Mike holsters, Uncle Mike cases, canvas rifle cases.
I went to Rockingham once. I got stabbed twice. So
That was probably just your missus. You probably got shanked before you got out of the car. Reloading equipment.
she wouldn't stab me.
Hope Steph's not watching this.
Nah, she doesn't even like me when I'm talking to her at home.
Lyman. So RCBS.
Oh, that oh, go on. Do it.
RCBS. So what do you think of when someone says RCBS? What's something that they've had out for a long, long time? Everyone knows and loves and all that. Rock Chucker Press. Yeah, Rock Chucker Press. What do they do for 2020? Dump the Rock Chucker Press. They're up to like version 5 or something now, and they fucking dumped it. Well, I don't know what the marketing people over at Vista Outdoors are doing,
It
but
is a
they've now
kids
come
one,
out
Greg.
with the
It
Rebel
is a kids
single
one.
stays. What's a kids one?
That bow, it's a youth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's not much that's suited for kids at this store. Least of all this bloody live video. Reloading press.
I just want to say we keep Pell out the back.
So yeah, RCBS have dumped one of their biggest products.
Yeah,
Well, the Rebel press looks exactly the same. It looks like a rock chucker. It's just named
It's
differently.
just named
Well, why would you change the name? Like the marketing people. over there.
everyone knows what a rock chucker press is.
Yeah.
Fuck you do.
Yes, you can buy reloading dies.
I
Yes.
wonder if the Orange Crusher's been.
Yes, Mark. Mac.
Lyman.
Mark. Mac.
Brass Smith.
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Even Lyman have done it. Look, it's the Lyman, what do they call it? It was called the Orange Crusher. Yeah, the Rock Chucker from RCBS, the Orange Crusher, and now it's Brass Smith Victory.
What's made in America?
It's the only victory the Yanks have had in the last 30 years, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Well, since about 1945.
Oh, they won the World Series baseball.
Oh,
yeah, that's it. Well,
and the
Series
Super Bowl.
baseball.
And the Super Bowl. Well done, guys.
Fuck it.
You guys are awesome.
Brass Smith.
To all the Americans out there watching this,
No, just joking. No. Sean from Boscobill's Yank or something, isn't he? Originally?
No,
He's
he's
still
a
got a bit
Kiwi.
of an accent.
no, he's a Kiwi.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why you can tell when he comes in. He's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, hey, bro.
actually, yeah, that makes more sense. now.
Hey, bro, I want to buy one of these
He
new bikes."
doesn't talk like that at all.
He does. He sounds exactly like that. It's actually like watching Foot Rot Flats. It's absolutely amazing. Winning the COVID
court.
count.
Count?
The COVID count too.
Yeah, count.
Yeah. We're actually winning friends and influencing people at the moment too.
So Lyman got a new case trimmer. Yeah. It's like an automatic case trimmer thingy. You get bushes that fit the different cases, and you just go, and it's all runs inside and everything. It's a really, really good idea. I'd actually really like one myself. But I'm a bit tight for that.
Ooh.
Their case representatives are really good.
What can we talk about for the last 7 minutes?
I don't know. The phone's probably going to die
Oh, okay.
in a sec anyway. You got the new WAG stocks.
Oh, have a look how horribly hideous these things look.
Like someone out there is probably going to love it. Just like Trent's mum.
They look horribly like GRS.
Trent's
It is a
mum loves.
GRS.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is
GRS
GRS.
WAG.
But it looks like they've got 3 different stocks and then like glued them together.
What they've done is they've gone, ooh, the Bifrost is nice. Let's stick an MDT 18-inch forend on the front of it.
Mate, there's nothing that decent in here, eh? There's nothing.
Actually-
Like Alan have got some new cases out, but they come out in new cases all the time.
Yeah, and the
It's
new
just
bag's
the same
actually
things,
really
just
nice.
They
It's
got
just
some-
got a autumn camo instead of a spring camo on it or something.
But they've got a long one, haven't they, for the big rifles?
Do they?
With
Yeah.
precision.
Well, how long? 54 inch or something.
Thermals.
56 inch, I think.
Teddy wants us to talk about thermals.
We do that next time.
Thermals.
I'm going to go
They
and fill
help
my
you
ute up.
see hot stuff.
Sorry? You going, eh?
No, I'll be back. I'm just going to fill my ute up with fuel.
Alright.
Well, that's important.
Pelican cases, champion traps. I'm looking for new stickers, I'm not saying very
Do
much.
you guys think the NSC's directions hearing in WA on the 12th will help to speed up lifting these fucking idiot restrictions? And is Waypol giving you updates about when you can return to normal?
You're going to have to talk to NSC about that, yeah? So this week I've spoken to someone from the NSC, and I'm going to reserve any comments until after I've spoken to other people in the WAFTA, and once I've considered this letter, which they've sent through, yeah? But it's a directions hearings, yeah? It's just a directions hearings. It's the same day as the directions hearings for the other people who have applied to the SAT. Okay?
The second part of that question
It's
is
just a directions hearing.
no, there is no updates on when we can return to normal. Sorry.
So I can't see you two through it. What?
I'm certain Michael's saying stop putting the post or the book up because he can't see all of this through it.
Probably good then.
Just give us a thumbs up, Michael, if that's the actual reason.
How are you going to tell if it's him? It just goes, could be anyone.
Well, then someone likes me. Good side, bad side.
Trent's mum.
Good side. Look at that, not a single fucking thumbs up.
No.
Well, fuck you.
What if I do this? Will you give us a like then? What if I do that? Give us some likes. Oh, look at all the likes coming up. Oh, there's heaps of them. There's thousands of them. There's 1, 2, fucking is, and 2, 3, 4. They're all coming through now. Knives from Nito. They probably banned these after that stabbing from up north, or the cop shot that dude with a knife.
Well, they could have aimed for not his vital organs.
I would not like to have been put in the situation that those cops are in, yeah?
No.
What happened.
I'd draw him.
It's...
If somebody came at me with a knife and I had a pistol, I'd shoot them too.
Yeah, but you're... No.
I'd like to think I would.
If I was you, there's probably not a knife out there that would reach one of your internal organs through the padding you got on the outside.
Through the...
You know? So you're pretty safe. So you could probably take one for the team. It'd probably break off in your ribs.
There's only 2 places where I'm fat. And that's my top half and my lower half.
It'd be pretty hard to get you anyway. Because to stab a pig, you've got to pick its back legs up and get it under the armpit. To stab a ball.
So who applies for job seeker?
You. Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Lapore. There's not much happening in Lapore except that they've stopped making 50 BM. Well, no, they've stopped importing 50 BMG brass and projectiles, which is a little bit gay. So if you've got a 50 BMG out there and you want projectiles or projectile,
is it a knobhead
things? Just
bell end.
Just hit us up if you want your 50 BMG. What? Who's belling? Me.
You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, Dave's saying, "Geez, he's harsh." Yeah, I fucking know.
Yeah.
This is my job.
What's your thoughts on 3006 over 270?
36.
Yeah, I'd have a 3006 any day over 270.
Every day of the week.
Anyone who owns a 270 is like a Jehovah's Witness, yeah? It's not good enough that they've got a 270 that they've got to sell the fucking thing to you.
They've got to tell you
They're going
every
to come
time.
around and knock on your door and say, do you know I own a 270? I've got a 270,
Oh,
it's great. I've had it for 20 years. Best goat gun I've ever had. No one asked, mate. Like,
I'm your neighbour
No.
3 doors down. Did you know I've got a 270?
if you've got a 3006, you've got the same case capacity, you've got a better bullet selection, and that's for target shooting or any type of hunting. You've got a better bullet selection. You've got a better bullet selection for long range hunting and shooting if you wanted to. You've got a better bullet selection for shooting light skin game if you want to shoot light skin game with your 3006.
Look at all the O
You know,
faces.
there is, yeah. So, like, I'd like shooting 3006s much better than a 270. I'm not saying 270 is not a good cartridge, but for very limited things, yeah? It's just for game. There's almost no target shooting projectiles out there. It's very limited in what sort of vermin you can, like, you can only shoot the thicker skin stuff, otherwise the bullets go straight through. So it's a really good cartridge for a very narrow set of things. It was really well designed for the American type games. Where they've got a lot more predators, and so the vermin sorry, not vermin, the deer and stuff that you shoot over there, I don't think a German's ever been shot with a 270.
No, but they with a 3006.
There's a few been shot with a 3006.
Yeah, just a couple.
And so, like, because their game is a lot thicker skin, it's a bit tougher. The 270 is a really good cartridge for that sort of stuff, whereas a smaller cartridge is better designed for most of the game in Australia, which doesn't have any like long-standing natural predators that they could evolve thick skin and whatnot to combat. Most Australian game is much lighter and fast, yeah, like kangaroos and emus and that sort of stuff. And even the stuff like foxes and the introduced stuff is thin-skinned. So
Thick-skinned.
What are you fast at? Fast at eating pies.
I'm just saying that most Australian games, just like me,
Hey, Jace.
tough, fast.
So yeah, 270. I would have a 3006. Yeah. And you can pretty much anything that's in 270 you can get in 3006. I would have 3006. I've had two 3006s before, but I didn't really use them that much only because I had a thrown and win mag. Yeah, again, it depends on what you want to do. The 3006 has advantages over the thrown and win mag as well. So, for example, you can get 5 rounds in the mag instead of 3, and that's a benefit if you shoot.
Unless you buy a Vina Karen,
you get 10.
No, you don't get 5.
What, in thrown and win mag as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
It's right there, right? See, right behind it. See right there. See that? See where I'm fingering right now? That's a 5-round magazine and a 300 Win Mag, Vina Karen.
But you can only get 5 in it in 3006.
Yeah.
You can't get 6 in it.
No, you get 5 in it as well. So, 300 Win Mag with 300 PRC. Yeah. 300
PRC. Well, it depends on what you want to do, but 300 PRC. Like, if you want to buy ammo off the shelf, 300 Win Mag. If you're going to reload, 300 PRC. Yeah? She's the info. Yeah, no worries, mate.
That's why we're here. We're full of information.
You're full of something. I'm asking you tonight, aren't I?
No, don't know.
Alliant powder.
Can't get it.
We can't have it.
So, you can come in and have all those.
Predator air rifle pellets. And that's the end of the book, which has these 3 guys surfing on a book.
Who's those 3 guys?
Well, I didn't see one picture of Cubis in this, mate. I'm going to complain.
I'm going to put in the complaint myself. All right. We are probably coming to
We're going to wrap it up.
End of our episode this week. Leave us a comment below if you want us to talk about anything particular next week.
Simon, I want to shoot camels, 7mm mag or thrown and win mag. Thrown and win mag. You're shooting camels, bigger projectiles better.
Yeah, just hit them.
If you want any bottle openers, we're still doing them. Free engraving, postage around the country.
Look, I'm getting inundated with those, so yes.
I just made another batch this afternoon though, yeah? So if you want one, we've got them.
Yeah, but
$45, and you'll be supporting a local business. This is what's paying his wages, so don't listen to him if he tries to talk you out of buying one.
Because I'd do that, yeah. I'd try and talk you out of it. Mark Hearless, cheers, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Mark Griffin, no cigars and no whiskey. Nah, not tonight. You didn't bring any in. Nathan,
cigars.
See you next week. Let's talk Aussie made next week.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll have something Aussie next week.
I won't promise it, but we'll talk something like
Can you smoke out of them? Yes. Yeah, we'll just smoke out of it.
I don't know. I'd imagine you put your cone in there. And you
burn the shit out of your beard, dumb shit. What the rest of it's for? I wonder if you can make one of them into a pipe.
Should put the prize up. You can't get 50 cal brass. Well,
price up, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, we can. We can get 80 odd brass, yeah.
Michael, yours is $75.
Thanks, Mark. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, guys.
Under the tree.
And thanks very much for everyone that tuned in. We got some really good numbers tonight, so we appreciate everyone coming in and listening to us. Please give us some feedback on what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see more of, all that sort of stuff. Catch up.
Good weekend.